The McPherson Opera House was built in 1888. It opened in 1889 on the 28th of January. The Opera House served as an opera house for many years until the 20s, when the moving pictures started coming out. And like all other opera houses, it was converted to a movie theater. At that time, all the dressing rooms and all the stage and every little square inch of it they could was converted to compartments for income for the movie theater owner. It served as a movie theater for many years until the late 80s, early 80s, when it fell desolate and it was condemned. The building was in very bad shape. The roof was collapsed in above us. Water would rain straight in from the roof down to the basement floor, because the floor that we're walking on right now was not here. It was all rotted away. The current owner at the time, in the early 80s, lost it to the bank because he wasn't making his payments on it. And the bank set aside $50,000 to have the building torn down and new downtown commercial retail stores to be built. When the bank president's wife toured the building and fell in love with it. Then she formed the McPherson Opera House Preservation Company in the early 80s. And the bank, of course, deeded over the Opera House and that $50,000 that they had set aside to tear it down to the McPherson Opera House Preservation Company as seed money to start the renovation. In 1988, it always had electric lights. It is one of only two places in McPherson to have electric lights. It was the Opera House and McPherson College. And to give you an idea of how big the power grid was at the time, whenever there's a show at the Opera House, everyone at the college knew it because all their lights dimmed. This is the grand ballroom. This originally was a meeting space here at the Opera House when it first opened, and we have totally restored it, and it now hosts everything from wedding receptions to dances to even a few proms in the county. This is the Opera House lobby, or annex. This was never a part of the Opera House. In the late 90s, when the Opera House was being finished, it was realized that they need bathrooms and office area for the building. So this was actually the conjoining building, and they purchased it and knocked a hole through through the wall between the two buildings and made it one. It's also the ticket booth. This is a concession stand. It was added as part of the annex project, and this is where all the patrons can come and get their hot buttery popcorn and soda pops. This is the exterior of the Opera House. This is the way it's always looked, and to the left you can see the marquee, which is on the annex, which is the building that we were just talking about. This is the front facade of the Opera House, and in the late 80s, during the early part of the restoration, this section actually was in such bad shape that it collapsed down into Main Street. All the bricks fell in and the windows and everything, and they had to close off Main Street for a month while they picked up the debris, labeled each brick, and reboarded up the side in front of the building. And since then, they relabeled all the bricks and they put them back in and restructured it, and it now stands stronger than ever. We are entering down into the tunnel network of McPherson, or what is left of it. Originally, in the 1800s and early 1900s, these tunnels connected all the downtown Main Street stores. This is one of the few tunnels that is left, which also services our basement's emergency exits. Up ahead, you can see where it's concreted in, and that is where they end. This is the hallway under the stage that connects the stage left and stage right wings, and also the access to the dressing rooms. And as you can see, the wall has been charred from a fire. In the 20s, when these were apartments, when it was a movie theater, there was an apartment fire down here, and these walls are original to the building. This is one of 2 dressing rooms in the Opera House. Each seats 15 uncomfortably, and all the artists can come down here and get their makeup and hair done before the shows and get dressed. What you're looking at is the stage of the McPherson Opera House. That is the rigging, and the stage has been totally remodeled with state-of-the-art rigging, lights, and sound. We can host any show that can come through the area. One of the most interesting facts about the Opera House that people always like to hear is the Opera House originally in 1888 cost $47,000 to build, which was a great price back in the day. In 2010, we put $8.5 million into the restoration. Originally, the Opera House had 900 seats. Today, we seat 488. Many things have changed. One of the main things is that Americans have gotten a little bit bigger, and in return we have to have bigger seats for some reason. And so that's one of the reasons. The second reason is the top balcony was just bench seating. It would have been the cheap seats, and today we actually have nice, comfortable seats up there. The seats in here now are brand new seats made to match the originals. And the original seats in the Opera House were made by the Grand Rapids School Furniture Company. We were actually their first theater that they ever installed theater seats in. Fast forward 100 and some odd years later, when we were looking for new seats to put in the Opera House, we went with American Seating, which formerly known as the Grand Rapids School Furniture Company. And we were, again, their first company or first theater that they ever put seats in, and they had the privilege of putting our seats in again. These are new additions to the Opera House. They were painted by a local artist named Bolton Smith. The tapestry on the left depicts the past, the Opera House's past, and the one on the right depicts the present. And the present has all the shows that we've had as part of our grand opening.